guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back. Today's video is going to be about why I chose to become a nurse versus a doctor. I get this question all the time and I finally just want to answer the question today. So if you want to know my reasons for choosing to become a nurse versus a doctor, then please stay tuned for the video. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'd like to say welcome. My name is Mercy. I'm a BSN RN, and on this channel, I talk about nursing, lifestyle, beauty, vlogs. I do a little bit of everything. So if you want to join my family, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and also hit the bell notification button so you'll never miss another one of my videos again. And for my return viewers, I'd like to say welcome back. So this is a question I get a lot from a lot of people, sometimes family members, sometimes patients, sometimes random people. And first of all, before I even say anything, let me just say that I hate this question. This question is very, very irritating to me, and it's very, very rude. Let me tell you why. When it comes to being a nurse and being a doctor, those are, first of all, two different things. Those are two completely different things. And then you have your levels of doctorate. So a nurse can become a doctor. You can get your doctorate in nursing and people will call you Dr. whoever. Or you can go to medical school to become a physician or specialize in whatever, like a general medicine or whatever. So there's different levels of becoming a doctor. But the reason I hate this question is because I personally think it's very, very rude. Because when people ask you this question, it's not because they're just curious, it's because they just want to be rude, in my opinion. So this is how this question is usually posed. So people will come to you and say, oh, so what do you do for a living? And you'll say, I'm a nurse. And they'll say, why didn't you just go all the way for your doctorate degree? They usually don't say, why did you choose to become a nurse versus becoming a doctor? That to me is a little understandable because the person wants to know. But no, they'll ask you, so you're a nurse? How long did it take you to become a nurse? So let's say you say 4 years. Then they'll say, so you're trying to say in 3 more years you could be a doctor, but you chose to be a nurse? Like, it's just so rude how they say it. And secondly, people have different passions for different things. And people also have different backgrounds. People have different interests. So for me personally, one of the reasons I became a nurse was because, first of all, when I first started this whole nursing thing, I knew that I wanted to help people, but I didn't know what track to take because I didn't have a lot of nursing background. So nursing was not always my first choice. I wanted to become a social worker because I wanted to help people in that way. So when I started my whole schooling career, I went to a community college and I took a lot of classes thinking that I was going to become a social worker. And then something happened and I switched to nursing. And when I did switch to nursing, getting a BSN was never part of the plan because I don't have a background where there's a lot of, like, you know, doctors and nurses and lawyers. You can't give what you don't have. So your family most times will only push you to do what they did, if that makes sense. So if you have a mom that's a doctor, she might encourage you to become a doctor. If you have a father that's a lawyer, he might encourage you to become a lawyer. My family wanted me to go to school. They wanted me to get an education. But whatever that education was, they were going to be proud of me. Whatever route I took, they were going to be proud of me. But because none of them had a background like that, it was up to me to choose what I wanted to do. So I basically chose my path on my own. So at the time, I thought LPN was like the biggest thing that I could get. And I say this with a lot of respect, but I am a first generation college graduate. And so getting an LPN degree was a very big deal for me. And then once I went through the LPN program, I saw that it was very rewarding and it made me feel so good to accomplish something. And I told myself I was going to go back and get my RN. I was working really hard and also searching for schools because I had finally decided this is what I wanted to do. This is my calling. I want to help people because I have always been one of those people where you just give, and you never get back. Even with my friends, I'm always that way. I've come to a point where I don't expect anything back, which is fine, because if you think you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to put your heart out there, and if you think you're going to get it back, it's just a waste of your time. So if you're the kind of person who's a giver, and if it makes you happy, then continue to give, because that's who you are. You can't change yourself because of other people. So anyways, that is how I decided to pursue nursing. So once I got my LPN, I went into my RN BSN program, and there was not one day that I felt like this is a waste of my time. Why am I doing this? I felt happy and I felt fulfilled when I would go to clinicals and when I would be in class, because the concepts, a lot of the concepts kept coming to me naturally. And you know, nursing school was a struggle. It's a struggle for everyone, but it wasn't something that I ever felt like, wow, this is so overwhelming, I can't do this. Or there wasn't a day where I went to clinical and came home and said, wow, you know, why did I get into this? I don't want to do this ever. There was never ever a time like that. So I feel like nursing was a calling for me. And another reason I chose nursing over being a doctor, me now working as a nurse, the main reason I wanted to become a nurse was to personally care for patients. And I've noticed that, and this is no shade to doctors, I respect doctors. I have some friends who are doctors. I have high respect for doctors and what they do, but not everything is for everyone. And me being a nurse and working as a nurse, I see that the doctors do a lot of their stuff behind the scenes, unless you're like a surgeon or something like that. But if you're like a you know, a house physician or attending physician or something like that, a lot of their job is done behind the scenes. And when they do see the patients, they see them for about anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes. The nurses are the ones who are there all day, every day, educating, advocating, administering and encouraging and preventing and doing all these things. And that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do more hands-on and in-person care. So that again is one of the reasons I decided to become a nurse versus becoming a doctor. Another reason is that, to be honest, I didn't want to be the one giving orders. I didn't want to be the one, you know, having the final say in anything. I wanted to be in a situation where I can rely on my co-workers and my colleagues and, you know, somebody else to give the final order, because I'm sorry, that's a lot of pressure. Doctors have a lot of pressure. We call the doctors when the patient asks for something, or if something's going on, or if there's a question we don't know how to answer, or if there's a medication or something. We're the ones calling the doctors, and the doctors have to be the one to make the final decision. I'm sorry, that's not my thing. I like being in leadership positions, but that kind of leadership is on steroids, and I just didn't want to do that. So that again is one of the reasons I decided to become a nurse versus a doctor. My final reason for choosing to become a nurse versus a doctor is for the simple fact that as a nurse, when you go to the hospital, you clock in, you do your 12 hours. Sometimes it may run into 12, 13, 14 hours. But the fact is, once you're done, once you clock out and go home, that is it. There's no taking your job home with you. There's no being an on-call doctor and having to come back in if something's going on, or if one of your patients has a complication or something like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you don't take your job home. When you clock in, you clock in. When you clock out, you clock out. A lot of the doctors I know work. And again, this is no shade to doctors. Everybody has their thing. And a lot of them enjoy doing that. A lot of them enjoy living their lives as a doctor. But for me, I love family. And a lot of you guys know that I have a little baby. My goal was always to have a profession where I can make enough money to take care of myself and my family, and also to have a family that I can spend time with. And becoming a doctor just wasn't going to do that for me, because I didn't want to come home and instead of raising my daughter or, you know, being there with my family and being a mom and being a wife, I'm just worried about, you know, work. And not to say that that's what all doctors do, but majority of them are all about work. They come home with work on their mind, they go to work with work on their mind, and I just didn't want to do that. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope that answered you guys' questions. Please stop going out there and asking people why they became a nurse when they could become a doctor. A doctor is different from a nurse is different from a doctor. We all work together as a team, and everybody has their thing. Some people's thing is to be a doctor, some people's thing is to be a nurse. So I want to say thank you to all the doctors for doing what you do. I couldn't do it, You do a lot, from the schooling to the residency to the responsibility. It's just a lot, and you guys are highly appreciated for what you do. For my nurses out there, thank you for what you do, because we do a lot. We wear so many hats, and we also are appreciated. So thank you guys for all your love and support. If you like the video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and also hit the bell notification button so you never miss another one of my videos again. And please guys, if the video was helpful to you, there is a good chance it's going to be helpful to someone else. So please go ahead and hit the share button so you can share the video with everybody else. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.